Now it's time for Movie Friends with your hosts Michelle and Seth. We're talking film without pretension. We're finding cats that are unexpected. We'll watch a movie, film, or schmovie, and we want you to join our journey. So subscribe and share this podcast, or this might just be the last of the Movie Friends. We're movie friends. We want to be your movie friends.
Hey, welcome to Movie Friends. I'm here with my friend Michelle Rubenstein, who has had enough to eat and is ready to start the games.
And I'm here with my friend Seth Vargas, who is wearing socks.
Well, okay, let's just get right into it. The amount of stress that I felt when Margaret does not wear socks to school. Horrible.
Blisters. I know.
Do you still get blisters
I do.
on your ankles like that?
Mm-hmm.
No good.
I do.
There's not a shoe that I would wear that would be worth it.
Well, sometimes you think you're good. You don't realize it. Like I don't choose a shoe and know I'll get a blister. There are some
Right.
times I'm wearing a good old sneaker that's been with me for a while, and then I'll get blisters. And it's
Oof.
usually on vacation.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it's always on vacation.
Wow. Well, hey, what's going on? It's your birthday week.
It is my birthday week. Yes. So there's that. No, I went to the dentist today. Happy to report no cavities. My dentist cracks me up. She loves being a dentist. And so she's in my mouth and she's checking everything out. And she had to refill one of my cavities last year. And she's like, oh my gosh, look at my filling. Oh, my work is so good. And she's like, I'm sorry, I'm just having a great day. And I just gave myself a little ego boost. And I was like, I love that you love what you do. And you should own what you're good at. It's great.
I feel like I'm having such deja vu.
I have told you about this before.
I feel like last year when we talked about your birthday, we talked about your dentist. And didn't I say something like, I don't want to call your dentist a liar? Does this ring any bells to you?
You know what's really funny about this, Seth? Okay, so...
Are we stuck in a time loop?
I brought my night guard with me for her to look at because I was like, is this still in good shape? And she was like, you got this last year during this month, so it's only a year old. And so I probably told the same story because I seem to get my checkups in March before my birthday. So yes, we have talked about this before. Anyway, how are you?
Good. So I've been looking for a job. I might have one. Fingers crossed. Being unemployed is not for me, I will say.
Yeah.
You ever watch like a TV show or a movie and there's like an android, but it's like not turned on and it's just like stuffed away in a closet?
I truly was with you with like, yes, have you ever watched TV or movie? Yes, I have. And then when you said Android in the closet hasn't been turned on, no.
Or just it's just like, dusty Android in the corner and then it becomes activated. That's like me. Like I do not do well without like too much responsibility, I think. Like
I hear you.
I think that I need to be at like 95% at all times to feel like I'm alive.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway. So I'm very excited at the prospect of, having responsibility beyond all the other things that I do. But I wanted to ask you, you've got young niece and nephew.
Mm-hmm.
Do they do the leprechaun toilet?
What?
Have you heard of this?
I haven't. Please enlighten me. I mean, maybe my sister's doing it with Owen this year because he's potty trained. Is that the thing? Do you have to be potty trained for this? I don't know what this is.
No. It's this new thing. I always feel like Jay Leno when I say, you hear this? The leprechaun toilet. New thing. Anyway, our youngest kid at his like preschool they would do around St. Patrick's Day, they would put like green food coloring in the toilet.
Oh.
And be like, the leprechaun came. And so this year, my youngest son kept being like, the leprechaun's going to come. He's going to come to our house. And the toilets will be green. And he'll leave trails of coins everywhere. And so we did it this year. And I just walked behind him. And I would like put a coin above his head and drop it to the floor. And he'd be like, oh, the leprechaun.
Oh.
But, and then, yeah, we put some green food dye in our toilets.
Wow.
And I'm just curious if anyone else does this. Because he, like, all the kids in his school, the parents all do it. So now it's like, well, we have to do it. You can't be the only house that the leprechaun didn't visit.
Well, right. This sounds similar to Elf on the Shelf.
Yeah, it's like Elf on the Shelf, which was like...
Mensch on the Bench.
For a long time, it was just Santa and the cookies and the milk. Mm-hmm. Parents only had to lie and provide physical evidence once a year. And now it's like every holiday suddenly. It's like, oh, right. The groundhog's going to come. Leave little turds in your bed. Hey, did we get any new reviews?
We did get a new review over on Apple Podcasts. Fun new friends. 5 stars from Mandy Caps. Hanging with smart, funny people who love movies? What could be better? Seth and Michelle are entertaining and warm hosts. My new favorite.
Wow.
Thanks, Mandy. What
could be better? Smart and funny, but you're really into baseball? Smart and funny when you're really into cooking? I feel like there are cooler things than being into movies.
I think so. Yeah.
But thank you. Thanks for the review, Mandy.
Thank you so much.
New favorites. Oh, that's
quite a title, right?
Don't you feel just such a... Is it imposter syndrome, right? That makes you... Someone says something and immediately you're like, no.
Yes. I mean, going back to how my dentist feels about her fillings and owning and feeling so good about her work, I'm like, I wonder if I'll ever feel that level of proud.
Right.
I don't know.
It's almost as if we're preteen girls trying to fit in and find our place in the world.
It's the way I still see myself, as the 12-year-old version of myself.
No way. Really?
Yeah. Really.
Wow. Well, I guess we'll get into it.
Yeah. Hey, did we get any emails?
No.
Oh, no, really? We got no emails?
Yeah, I was just going to blow right past that.
My bad.
Oh, speaking of imposter syndrome, no one likes us enough to email us. Oh. But hey, you can send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. All right, so today we are talking about Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Put a pin in this, okay? Put a pin in why we're talking about this. It's from 2023. This is written and directed by Kelly Fremon Craig, adapted from the book by Judy Blume, edited by Una Flaherty and Nick Moore, cinematography by Tim Ives, composed by Hans Zimmer, costume design by Anne Roth. Starring Abby Ryder Fortson, Elle Graham, Amari Alexis Price, Catherine Mullen Kupfer, Rachel McAdams, Benny Safdie, and Kathy Bates. This movie was made for $30 million and brought in $21 million at the box office. They shot this from April to July of 2021 and was then delayed until 23. Michelle, you want to put your pot roast in the oven and read us our summary?
Margaret Simon is having a big year. First, she moved away from her childhood home and started at a new school. Then, her grandmother moved away. Now, she's thrust into a world of kissing boys, blistered ankles for the sake of fashion, and buying her first bra. On top of all of this, Margaret enters a world that has been hidden from her: spirituality and religion. Her grandparents and teacher want her to come up with answers, but she only has one question in her heart. Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
So I said put a pin in why we're talking about this, because I wanted to mention right off the bat every month on this show, the listeners who support us, our patrons, our best friends, quite frankly. You know what I mean? They're I feel our rock and our anchor. We always talk about on the show how it's like, we don't know who's listening. We don't know why people are listening. Well, we have a great group of listeners who support us, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. And one of the perks for signing up is once a month, we record a film that they nominate and then vote on. And each month, there are great movies that are nominated. Some months are better or worse than others, But the vote is almost always, pretty close, I would say. Usually comes down to like 1 or 2 votes, tiebreakers. This month, there was no theme, and so they could nominate any movie in the history of movies that we have not covered. And a movie came through, and I texted you and said, it's over. It's over. There's no way. And that film was Star Wars. You ever hear of it? Someone nominated Star Wars, the first Star Wars, as it came to be known later, A New Hope. Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia.
Oh, gosh.
I said it wrong on purpose, Leia.
Yes, I know.
Darth Vader. And, it didn't win.
It didn't win.
Another movie won. Little film from 2023 called Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And I was astounded. How did you process this earth-shattering election?
I was shocked. I completely shocked and very relieved. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Because as I've expressed behind the scenes, to cover Star Wars is such a big film that I would like to do that as a series. So I didn't want it to just be like the one-off, we cover it, and then maybe we do 5 in like 5 months or something like that.
Sure.
6 in next year.
Yeah.
Like if I'm going to be in the Star Wars world, let me be in it and revel in it and absorb it.
Yeah. Now, that's not to say that I'm unhappy that this film won.
Yeah, right.
I actually was kind of like, heck yeah, this is awesome. Our patrons are cool, man.
Totally.
Now, not that I wouldn't want to do Star Wars either. It's just like you put these two together. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I just wanted to acknowledge that our patrons are very cool and consistently, month in and month out, surprise the two of us.
Yes.
Had you seen this film before this week?
No.
Me either.
I've never even read the book.
Ooh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I read the book growing up. I read a lot of Judy Blume growing up.
Mm-hmm.
I revisited the book this week, and it was a bit like stepping into a time machine.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, whoa, that's right. It's probably the first place I heard about periods, to be honest.
How old were you when you read the book?
I had to be, 7, 8, 9, somewhere in there. Yeah. I had a lot of older siblings, so I had access to, I read Beloved by Toni Morrison when I was, I think, 9 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyway, you come to this film, you haven't seen it, and it's about a coming-of-age story of a girl from a family of mixed religion growing up. How did you find it?
I mean, come on. This is like for something that's made in 23, taking place in 1970, and for someone who doesn't know the story, I feel like this was just so well done and just brought me back to what it was like to be 12 years old with a mother who's Christian and a father who's Jewish. and constantly having the conversation of which religion am I, going to church sometimes, trying out temple. And now I grew up differently in terms of like we celebrated Christmas and Hanukkah,
Right.
but there was always the discussion of which side are you going to choose? Which one do you believe in more? My dad would get upset if I went to youth group. Specifically, he was
Really?
really angry. Yep.
Okay.
Also, like when my dad was, on his deathbed, there was people who were trying to convince my dad to become a Christian in his last days, which I thought is like poor taste. I'm not, and listen, I think religion is beautiful. I really, really do. But this just brought up all of that. And also just like, oh my God, being 12 and what it was like to get a bra and get your period. And the
Yeah.
Nancy's. Oh, the Nancy's.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So I feel like this was really, really well done. This was really good.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a very different experience because
I'm sure.
Right. I was raised in a house where my dad was a pastor, and so there was no mixed religion ideas,
Yeah.
My understanding of Judaism was based on like, and this is going to sound horrible, but I mean, it was my experience, like going to the dentist and everyone was Jewish and being like, what is a yarmulke? Like I grew up on Long Island and there are a lot of Jewish people in the medical arts, I guess I will say. And, that was pretty much it for my childhood. And then I would say, becoming a teen, then meeting people who were Jewish, but it felt like the Catholic people I knew and the Jewish people I knew were never like really into their religion.
Yeah.
Like it was more like, wow, we're Jewish. It was like, well, what do you do? Like nothing.
Well, it's like culturally Jewish, right?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
And there is, as we've seen, as we've witnessed more and more in this country, there is cultural Christianity as well, right? Mm-hmm. But for us, with my dad being a pastor, like I said, that was not.
Yeah.
That wasn't the case. It wasn't like,
Totally.
I heard of that Jesus guy.
We only go to church on Christmas.
Right. Yeah. It wasn't, it wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
So I had never seen this, but I remember when it came out, like I said earlier, this only brought in $21 million on a $30 million budget, which, look, $30 million budget, couple of big name stars, pretty reasonable, for this day and age. So it's a shame, that didn't make back its money. But even though not a lot of people saw it, the people that I knew who did see it raved about it. And they're like, this is so good. It's so great. And I kind of had a bit of a distance, I guess I would say. I felt the same way about this that I felt about The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which was like, hey, that was a book that I really, really enjoyed. I do not want to see the adaptation because it can't possibly be that good.
Yeah.
And then I watched it and I was like, this is extremely delightful while also being incredibly painful, but not painful to the point where a child couldn't watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think there's a lot of movies about the pains of growing up that are very intense and maybe troubling, where this felt more just comforting and kind of plain and basic.
Yes.
But not in a bad way. I did cry.
Yeah, me too.
When did you cry?
I cried a lot between the scenes with Barbara and Margaret. I really, really loved Barbara as a character and could relate to her as just a woman who's trying to find themselves as an adult. I'm not a mother, so not in that way, but trying different things. And then at the end, just saying, which I love, not to jump to the end, but when Nancy's mom is like, oh, we're going over to the junior high and I thought of a couple of roles for you for the committee. And she goes, oh, thank you so much. I would love to, but I don't want to.
Yep.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, do I want to just rock that line on a lot of things in my life? But
Yeah.
and taking ownership of what you actually want to do. So yeah, I really just loved her. Made me emotional.
It reminded me of when we just covered Maggie Gyllenhaal's The Bride, and the bride's phrase of, "Oh, I would rather not."
Yeah, I prefer not to.
I prefer not to. Yes, adding in a lot more adult stuff where each adult is given a moment of pain or at least melancholy, I think helps the adults, certainly, who are watching it. But I wonder if you are a young person watching this, that it would help you kind of see like, hey, all this stuff that Margaret's going through, I'm going through. But then you look at what the parents are going through and the teacher and the grandmother, and you say, oh, everyone's going through this. It's not just being 12. It's being like 35 and 60 and everyone.
Right.
So I loved that. I liked that they didn't just make the parents funny or scary, or, you know, they let everyone be kind of a well-rounded, empathetic look at how hard it is to be alive. Okay, so you didn't read this. Did you read Judy Blume growing up at all?
You know, I know we owned Judy Blume books. And I know they were in my orbit, but I gotta tell you, I'm going through the titles over the past couple of days, and there's only 2 that rung a bell that maybe I remember reading, which is Tales of a Fourth Grade Nothing, and otherwise known as Sheila the Great. But I couldn't tell you what they're about.
Sure. Yeah.
And this really, I meant to ask my mom today when I talked to her on the phone, because I know we owned these books. I mean, maybe we just had them. Maybe because they were my mom's books. I don't know.
It's possible. Yeah. I mean, how old would your mom have been in 1970?
Yeah, she's in her 20s at that point. So, but maybe she picked them up because she worked in a school. She worked with young kids.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
It's always fascinating to me, Judy Blume books being banned by schools and states and stuff. Because it's like, what? Girls can't know what's happening.
Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
As if they don't experience, like,
right.
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah, I read a lot of Judy Blume books growing up. My Judy Blume story, which I did not tell my mother until much later in life. So my mom loved buying things from the thrift store. She's a big no waste person, you know? For Christmas one year, I remember getting a present that was like just a big stack of books wrapped, and they were all from the thrift store. And I was a voracious reader as a child, so this was great. And in one of the books that she got was a Judy Blume book that we didn't have in our house, which was rare for me because it was like, oh my gosh, here, a Judy Blume book I haven't read and haven't taken out from the library yet. This is great. So I'm young. I'm probably 10 or 9, maybe 11, maybe, but more in the 10 or 9 range. And she gives me this book called Then Again, Maybe I Won't. And the cover of the book, I sent it to you earlier this week.
You did, yes.
Because I was like, I need for you to know what the cover of the book looks like before I tell this story. So I'm 10 and I look at the cover. So it's of a boy with like a backwards baseball cap and a pair of binoculars. And he looks, I don't want to say, it looks kind of serious. And so I was like, oh, maybe this is like a mystery novel. And I was also really big into the Hardy Boys. So I'm like, cool, what is this book going to be about? And then I read it, and the book is about a boy who spies on his older neighbor as she gets undressed every night.
Yeah.
And it's all about like boys coming of age sexuality and like changing bodies. There's a lot of stuff about like having wet dreams and being paranoid that your mom is going to like hold up your sheets in front of the whole family. So I'm reading this as a younger kid who has not gone through any of these things. And I'm like, what is my mom thinking? And then I was like, oh, maybe this is like her way of telling me about these things. Way to go, Mom. All right, very forward thinking. And the very last line of the book, spoiler alert for a Judy Blume book, but he's talking about like everything he's learned over the course of the book. And he says, and you know what? Maybe I'll put away my binoculars and I'll stop spying on my neighbor. And then the last line of the book is, but then again, maybe I won't. And I was like, this kid's a criminal.
He's a peeping Tom.
He's a peeping Tom. Yeah, man. And so anyway, That's my Judy Blume story. And I told my mom this story much later in life, like maybe a couple years ago. And she was like shocked and appalled. And she was like, I didn't know what that book was about. I just thought it was a Judy Blume book for boys. I was like, well, it was a Judy Blume book for boys.
It was a Judy Blume book for boys.
But you know what, though? God bless Judy Blume for writing frank books about things that kids are going through. And that's what I kept thinking when I watched this movie. I was like, you know what? Is this the most exciting movie? No, but it really contains a bit of everything that a kid might be questioning or thinking about. And does it go really far? No. But it at least acknowledges things. So you mentioned the feeling of being 12, and you just said you still feel like you're 12. Is that true?
I do. No, I don't still feel like I'm 12. When I think of what I look like, I picture the 12-year-old version of myself, which is just the most awkward, round, painfully shy person. Yeah. I don't.
You feel like that's like the center and face that you're operating out of.
I think it's like who I think I still look like. And it's very much not. Like, I'll look in the mirror sometimes, right? Like I tried on an outfit the other day and I took a picture and sent it to Krista to show her what I'm going to pack because I'm going to see my friend in a couple of weeks. And I was like, who is this person? Because inside, I still feel like I look like the 12-year-old, very, very shy. Like I said, very round, so awkward, like no confidence at all. Just that's how I still view myself. Yeah. It's weird.
Well, I don't know that it's weird. I think that probably a lot of people would still feel that way. Yeah. My age is old. I feel like I'm stuck at about 22.
I mean, maturity level, I feel about like 34, I think.
Well, that's pretty close to your own age.
Going to be 39. I don't feel 39. I don't know what 39 is supposed to feel like, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Was this something that you were like, I can't even look because it feels too real? Or was it like, haha, this feels too real? Or was it like, oh, this is healing because it's too real?
Not healing. I would just say I felt very well done. Like I said, for something that's made in 23, supposed to take place in 1970. And I was just very curious of like how kids would take it today. Because like a lot of the things that we were seeing in this is taking place in 1970, like the pads and getting measured in the middle of a department store and the Nancys of it all, these secret clubs. Like, is this still a thing in today's generation?
Right.
Because I felt like this was very spot on for growing up in the 90s.
Yeah. I don't know. You know, I only have boys.
Mm-hmm.
And so I am not privy to this.
Yeah.
I do wonder if technology has, it's like life was the same for thousands of years. And then it was kind of the same for like 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
And now I don't know what it is.
Yeah, right.
And it might be universal and it might be the same. I did see some reviews as I was perusing the reviews from younger people that did kind of seem to question, like, why is this in the 70s? They didn't seem to connect, but it was also, those were also the negative reviews.
Mm.
I was shocked when she takes the sticky strip off of the pad and then just put it right in, because I was like, don't you have to open it? And then I was like, oh my God, that is it. That's wow.
Yeah.
Like back in the day, I guess it was like a brick.
Yeah. And even like, again, I remember in 5th grade being gathered to watch the awkward movie in the auditorium about menstruation, and then they give you a kit, and like, yes, that pad felt like it was from the 70s.
There've been a lot of pad technology advances
Mm-hmm.
in our lifetime, I feel.
Yeah. Yes.
My wife commented as we were watching it, she's like, there's no wings. It's just
There's no wings. That's right.
Wings on it. I feel like I've seen the same commercial. This is a little aside, but for feminine products in terms of makeup and moisturizers and eyelash extenders and pads, I feel like every year there's a new commercial that's like 10 times what it used to do. This is 10 times the lashes, 10 times the lotion, 10 times the pad. And I'm like, how much more can it be? And were you lying then? Like, were you lying? Do you remember Neutrogena? What was it? Cream. Oh gosh, what was it? It was the actress from Smallville. Neutrogena cream clear cream cleanser. Is that what it was?
Are you thinking of like the well, I mean, there's a bunch of different products you could be referencing here, but like the from Smallville, like the one who went into a cult?
No. Oh no. That was
What are you
Allison
talking about?
Mack.
Yeah.
The girl who was Lana Lane. She wasn't Lois Lane. Wasn't there a Lana Lane?
There was a Lana Lang. Yeah. Okay, Kristen Kruk? I don't know the specific Neutrogena commercial you're recalling.
Her saying Neutrogena clear cream clean cleanser has been stuck in my head.
That's so funny.
But in this movie, I was dying. They buy Teen Softies, I think it's called.
Yeah, Teen Softies.
What a name. What a name. So yeah, for me, like this brings up memories and feelings, but not, I'm sure not the same for you,
Yeah.
but more just like the general feeling of embarrassment. One of my earliest memories is my mom dropping me off in a nursery for the little kids, and she had to go do something else somewhere else. And I remember just sitting in the middle of the room, screaming my head off. But as I'm like screaming and crying, like looking around at everyone and like taking note that they are watching me and that they don't know what to do. And just being like embarrassed of feeling something, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my very first memories that I can remember. Laura in this film, I think she gives one of the most devastating lines when she says, you know, how would you feel if you were the biggest kid in school?
Yeah.
And it's the way she delivers it as kid. Like she still views herself as a kid, where everyone else wants to be grown up. She is grown up. But she's like, I'm a kid. And everyone makes fun of me.
Yes. I felt that hard too. I feel like I felt each character and could relate to all of them. And then, like I said, just new Nancy's in my life.
My best friend growing up was 4 years older than me. And we lived next door to each other. And so I was 8 and she was 12, and I was very much still a kid. And I remember we had a neighbor who was, it was actually 3 sisters, and they were all like Nancy, like, they would show up to play basketball wearing high heels when we were children. They wanted to be older. And one of my like core memories of youth is one of my neighbors went up to my friend and just gave her the most horrible look and said, "You really need to be wearing a bra." And the next day, when my friend came out to play with me, I noticed she was wearing a bra for the first time ever. And at that young age, the anger that I felt for that Nancy girl, the anger that I felt like on behalf of my friend, and like how embarrassed she must have been. And she must have gone home and said, "Mom, we need to go get a bra." And then it was like this betrayal to me of like, hey, we're kids. Don't be like them,
Oh, gosh.
It's crazy
painful.
the things that you remember, right?
Oh, yes. And that movie does this. This like brings up all of the wounds have healed, but the feeling is still there, and it brings you right back.
I think you see it too in the character of Barbara, where she says the wrong things a couple of times and immediately is like, "Whoa, that wasn't the right thing to say. I am damaging my child right now."
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, anyway. How'd you feel about Norman Fisher?
Okay, Norman Fisher. Let's talk about Norman Fisher.
Please.
I wanted more of Norman Fisher, and this isn't the Norman Fisher story. We go to Norman Fisher's dinner party, and I said I had one question for you. And I sent you a picture of the plate with an orange gelatinous ring. What is this? What is this? Sweet potato? What's happening at this dinner party? What is being served? What's this food item?
It's tough to say. It's really hard to say. I took it as just Jell-O, but it was back in the day. They were turning a lot of things into Jell-O molds.
Norman Fisher, though, wow. His first introduction when he just like
combs his sideburns.
Amazing. No notes, Norman Fisher.
Yeah, I was a pretty fat little kid.
Yeah,
and so as we discussed on our film Heavyweights, I always love little fat kid representation in films. And we meet Norman Fisher in just a little cut to. He just has time to do a little swipe on both sideburns. And it's clearly like a cutaway gag. It's like, oh yeah, I don't want to sit next to that kid.
Right.
But I was like obsessed. Please, God, are you there? It's me, Seth. Don't let this be the only moment of Norman Fisher in this movie. Is Norman Fisher a little creep because he invites everyone over and then plays spin the bottle? I don't know. How'd you feel?
I don't think so. This is one thing that I couldn't relate to, but I've seen it so many times. And we talked about it in Freaks and Geeks on our Patreon series when we covered that. I've never played Spin the Bottle, and I've never played 7 Minutes in Heaven or 2 Minutes in the Closet, or whatever they called it in this movie. And I asked Krista, best friend, I was like, did you ever play these games? And she said no. And I don't know anybody in my personal life who has played these games. And the idea of going to a boy-girl party at 12 years old without supervision and being able to play these games, I definitely was not doing that at 12 years old.
I went to a birthday party, but it was all boys. And I was the only one who brought an actual present. The rest of them just brought like cards with money in them. And so when it was like time to do presents, and I had like thought about this present, I gave my friend a toolbox with like tools and nails and stuff because we were building like a clubhouse together. Actually, we had built a couple of clubhouses together. And we always were like, oh, I wish we had like an actual tool, you know? And when you're a kid, you have to be like, be careful, man. That's my dad's hammer.
Totally, right? Or secretive that you steal it and you have to make sure you put it back.
Right. So to me, I was like, oh, this is great. You know, I had money from doing like, I don't know, raking or snow shoveling or something. And so I bought him, like this thing. And I was just dying inside because I realized, and again, it was like one of those moments where I was like, oh my God, we don't do presents anymore.
Yeah.
Like we're supposed to be grown up and we're supposed to be just giving cards of money. And it was pretty horrible. I don't remember my first boy-girl party. I feel like it happened just kind of all at once. It probably was around 12 or 13.
Yeah, no way, man. No way. High school.
But not spin
probably
the bottle.
15. Probably 15 was boy-girl party.
Yeah. I've told this story before, but one time in high school, I was at a party in someone's basement with a bunch of people. And because I thought it was funny, like I put a sign on one of the closets that was like the makeout room. And then people started going in it. And I was like, no, oh God, this was a joke. And I was like, what have I done? Oh.
Hey, you got people to kiss.
Oh, God. I would love to play the spin the bottle now as an adult, but with a different outcome.
Same.
Like, what could you do? Like, if there was like 10 to 15 of you and it was like, all right, spin the bottle, but then, I don't know, maybe you have to slap the other person.
Oh.
That might not work.
I don't want to be slapped.
Well, I don't want to be kissed.
I don't want to be kissed either. Maybe like flick of the nose.
It's such a shame that in our society, the only two options are kissing and violence.
What if spin the bottle, thumb wrestle?
What is the most physical thing that people can do that isn't romantic or violent?
Hug.
Spin the hug? Come on.
It's so lame. Just
life is horrible when you're an adult.
Hoping to get hugged. That's really sad, actually.
I landed on Michelle. You guys got a hug. Maybe, you know what, maybe it is. Maybe first you spin the bottle and you get your partner, and then you have to like draw from a bowl of pranks or something. It's like,
and you have to like pull off the prank together.
You guys gotta go egg the house next door.
Oh my God.
I would do that. Spin the prank.
Spin the prank. We need to workshop this.
Impressions. Spin the impressions.
That would be good.
You two gotta act like Groucho and Chico Marx now.
Oh man. It's actually it's a funny idea.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You could pick two like really famous scenes from movies or TV.
Yeah.
Like, all right, you guys got to do the "You Complete Me" from Jerry Maguire.
Right. You have to do Jack and Rose.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Okay. Really quickly, I want to give a shout out to Anne Roth. She's the costume designer of this film. Thought she did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
Her list of credits is just insane. I just want to read a few, just so people know who we're dealing with here. You got Midnight Cowboy, Mamma Mia, Signs, M. Night Shyamalan, The Village, M. Night Shyamalan, Dressed to Kill, Doubt, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, 9 to 5, Clute, Cold Mountain, Hair, the musical, Angels in America, Margot at the Wedding, the 1972 version of Harvey, still starring Jimmy Stewart. I mean, come on. Hello? Anyway.
Wait, what?
Oh, yeah. You got to see that one. He's just older.
Wait. Back up. There's a 1972 Harvey. Did you tell me this? I probably did know this and I'm forgetting it.
I don't know. I don't know that this has ever come up, but yeah.
How did you never told me? Harvey's like one of my favorite movies, and we covered it on the show. How is this new news?
Jimmy Stewart reprises his role as Elwood. Yeah, 1972, Harvey.
Information that I should know versus other information I don't need to know. Perfect example right here.
Well, now you have something to look forward to.
Wow.
Anyway, Ann Roth working for decades upon decades and still pumping out great work. So
good job.
Okay, where do you want to go from here?
You're leading, buddy.
Okay.
Steer the ship.
Margaret, our main character, played by Abby Ryder Fortson. How'd you feel about her?
She's so good. I thought she just did such a good job. I mean, I feel like she just could emote without saying anything. Like her eyes, the acting in the eyes. I felt like she looked like a kid. That was another thing I loved about this movie. These kids look like real kids.
Yes, right.
And again, I haven't seen a lot of TV and movies with kids of today's age, but this felt like kids. Like I was watching kids from a 90s movie. It just felt right. And I really enjoyed her performance.
Definitely. And this would have felt right at home in the 90s, I think.
Yes.
Feels like Matilda, feels like Harriet the Spy. Kids playing kid roles and doing well in them.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's so funny in this and also so awkward. I feel like there's a general like underlying pain in everyone's performance. She barely has time to be happy. She goes to camp and everything's great, and then she comes home and it's like, we're moving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you ever move as a kid?
No, and I never went to sleepaway camp. Only day camp.
Got it. I moved and it was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I found more friends when we moved.
That's good.
I lived in the same house from, 3 to 10. Maybe 11. I can't remember exactly. But basically, like, we moved and then I got my first girlfriend and started like roaming our town, not just our block, So it was like, this is the house of my childhood and this is the house of my adolescence. And it was such a stark difference. But I love her in this. I love when she doesn't write down the name of the same boy as everybody else and she has to pretend that she did. I love when she is in the closet with the jerk, Philip Leroy. I hated this kid.
Yeah, we're supposed to hate him. He sucks.
He might be the only character we don't get sympathy for, right?
I mean, right. I would say so. He served his purpose.
Yeah.
The popular boy who's a jerk.
Yeah.
He seems kind of nice, and then he's kind of a turd.
Yeah. All of the boys are a little less like I do think Norman Fisher, he's played a little nicer, or at least it's
and
like,
Moose is too.
Moose, yes, but the brother definitely gets no sympathy, and then Philip Leroy is just I wanted to punch this kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm an adult. I shouldn't want to do that.
No. His actions, pinching so you grow an inch and you know where you need it.
Oh. Horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. Now, I'm a dude, right? So I don't remember that. Do you remember, like, was that an anxious idea for you of like, other girls are wearing bras and I'm not, or you were and other girls weren't, and then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Is that a stupid question to ask a woman?
No, not at all. I started wearing a sports bra because I didn't want to wear a real bra. Now, remember, I am a very, 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 very shy, bigger girl, no confidence, starting with acne, like the most painful of pain, right? And so I started wearing a bra in 5th grade towards the end, but sports bra, because I didn't want to wear an actual bra. And so that's really where it started. And then it's funny because as awkward as I felt and so shy and had zero confidence, I never had a problem making friends. I always had friends. Always had a good group of friends, had my best friends who I'm still best friends with today. So that was never an issue. It was just how I felt in my own skin.
Right.
I wish I could just crawl out of it.
Yeah. I felt that. I just didn't have like, I don't know. I guess boys and girls feel the same, just about different things, maybe. I don't know.
Well, because like I was growing and showing, if you will, right? I wanted nothing more than to just not be looked at because I hated the way I looked. And so I was like, I didn't want anything to show. I also didn't want to grow up. So I was very much like Laura, like I look like I'm, 13, whatever, but
Right.
I just want to remain as a kid. And I specifically remember in 8th grade, my friends hooking up with boys and doing things with boys, like going far, right? And me being like, I just want to play with my American Girl dolls. Like I was so innocent. Oh gosh, it's so painful to think about.
Yeah, I feel like for me, I guess it was maybe the opposite. I mean, I was dressed, I grew up in a punk household. So from the time I was young, I had mohawks and I did a tri-hawk at one point. For a long time, I didn't cut like one lock of hair. And so I had like a long lock of hair. I would dye my hair. And then I'm wearing, clothing that's adorned with patches and pins. And I feel like I was more overtly, not necessarily like, look at me, but like, if I'm going to go out, I need to be wearing the correct things to express who I am, because I'm not like an incredibly handsome. I remember seeing guys my age and being like, how do you look like that? Like you look like, and of course the answer is, they attempted to look good and worked out.
Right.
And I was just like, how do you look so old? You like, you look like a kid from TV. This is so weird. Meanwhile, I was like, I'm not gonna work out and, get a haircut at an actual barber. What are you, crazy?
Yeah.
But yes, Margaret, being in that in the middle place, it's not fun. And when you're in transition, you only want it to be over. And I think that doesn't change when you're an adult.
No, not at all.
So, okay. The film doesn't just deal with growing up, the social and the physical aspects of going from childhood to puberty, I guess we'll say, because really the movie, it's not about being a teenager, it's about entering puberty, I would say.
Yeah.
So while it deals with that, it's also about this journey that Margaret goes on that she doesn't even really want to go on necessarily, about exploring her relationship to God, right? And through the lens of Judaism and Christianity. So like you mentioned, you grew up in this split house of these two different religions. Did you have a period where you were like, I'm not aware of either?
No, I wouldn't say that, but it was just interesting because when I was young, I would say like before I was 8, my mom always went to church on Sundays. And she'd be like, do you want to come? To my sister and I. And some days we'd go and we'd be like, we try Sunday school and we'd be bored. And then on some of the Jewish holidays, always Passover and Yom Kippur, really, because then we got bagels. That was the best, the bagel holiday. We'd go to temple, and my dad was part of a temple, and we would go. But then as we got older, it stopped. And they stopped. My mom still went to church, but there was always this like definitely tension between my mom and my dad of like which religion we're going to have our girls lean more into.
Yeah.
And so when I started going to youth group with Krista on Friday nights, my dad did not love that. And then specifically when I went to a overnight getaway led by a youth group, and then I fainted, and then I had like a seizure, and like Krista's mom had to come pick us up. My dad was so mad that I went, but then when I came home, he was just like, this should have never happened. Like he was really upset that my mom let me go to this.
Right. And how old were you?
It was probably, when did that happen? 13, 14. Terrible. It's terrible.
So for Margaret, she seems to just be oblivious in a kid way to all of these things. She's aware of boys but that's not like what's on her radar.
Right.
And over the course of 1 year, end of camp to the beginning of camp, she has to go from being aware of things to being the master of things. And that's a lot to ask, of someone who has no experience with this stuff. So, okay, you don't have to tell me if you don't want to tell me. How did your parents end up together? And was it anything like, this horrible situation with Barbara and Herb where
you mean the
she's
parents
kicked out, Yeah.
Well, they fell in love. So that's how they got together. And my grandmother's name was Sylvia, my dad's mother. She was very close to my mom, but she passed away when I was 1. And then my dad's dad passed away shortly after that. And then my mom's mom passed away when she was younger. And then her father died when I was like 7. So there wasn't like that conflicting parental tension there from that they had. But when they got married, a rabbi married them. My mom didn't convert. It was never like one of us has to convert. But when it came to us, it was very much like culturally we'll celebrate Hanukkah, culturally we'll celebrate Christmas. My mom will go to church on Sunday, but like the kids, as much as my dad said it was okay, it was very much like I don't want them to be too much into the church.
Right. So Margaret's parents take this stance of like she can decide when she's older.
Yeah.
But they did not expect older to be now. And so they both are pretty opposed to like any outside influence. But Margaret on her own, apart from temple and church, and maybe despite her parents, begins praying by herself. And so throughout the film, she'll have these conversations with God and never hears anything back. And I tried so hard to relate to this idea, and I understand it in my head, but being an adult now, who's been married to a woman for a long time, I was like, imagine praying to get your period.
Well, just depending on what type of person you were at that age. Like me, did not want my period to come. I was like praying for my bust to decrease, definitely not increase.
You weren't doing.
I was not like, I must increase. I was like, I must decrease my bust, please. Like it is coming in rapidly. And then like praying, just please let my skin clear up. Like, I will ration, please. I'll do anything type of pleading.
But yeah, I don't know. Like as a kid, I didn't pray.
No, I think I started praying pretty young because as much as my parents were like, okay, you're not fully Jewish, you're not fully Christian. Although I have to say, if I was like, Mom, I want to be fully Jewish, my mom would be like, great, that'd be wonderful. I think you should.
Yeah.
But it was just like having your own relationship with God. And that was like instilled in my sister and I. And so that is kind of how I've always taken it.
Yeah.
So pretty young. I would say like 8 years old, 9 years old, 10 years old.
Really? You remember praying?
Yeah. Wow. And like just more gratitude and thanking. And then, never mind, I'm not going to say it. It's too much.
Look, you don't have to say anything you don't want to. Or you can say it and I'll delete it out of the episode.
Yeah, you can. No, you can leave it. But I used to pray. Oh my God. Okay, so I was so afraid of ghosts. So I would just say all my prayers and I'd be like, and please don't send anybody down to freak me out.
Wow.
Because I didn't want to see any ghosts. I was really afraid.
You thought God was sending the ghosts.
Well, I was like, well, I'm thankful for all these things. Thank you for my health. And please don't send anybody down because I don't want to be freaked out. And it kind of, at this point, I was like, I wonder if that just became like a superstition. Like if I didn't say that, then a ghost would come.
Sure,
you know?
Of course. I mean, I remember being a kid and not really thinking that stepping on a crack would break my mom's back because I was like, well, she's got a lot of kids and I'm sure that they are not all looking at cracks. But I can tell you, I started behaviors like that very young.
Yeah.
Like once I knew stepping on a crack was a no-no, then I couldn't not step on a crack.
Interesting.
So I would walk down the street just kind of dancing, like, twisting and jumping and making sure I did anything but step on a crack. And when you do that for a short amount of time, then you can't not do it. So I understand completely. Like, yeah. I mean, I like I said, I grew up in a Christian home, and so it was like I had a concept that I was supposed to pray, but I didn't feel like it. I guess I should say. And I would be in church and people would be praying, and I would just be like looking around. I mean, like, what are they doing? What are they thinking? Like, what are they thinking? Because when I would think, I guess I thought that prayer was like a conversation and that no one was talking back to me. And so I didn't grasp it. Like as a child, I did not grasp it and I did not practice it at all.
Yeah.
And then I probably read this book of a girl, praying, and I was like, wow, she's just praying. She's so mature.
She's just having a conversation.
Yeah. And maybe I felt that it was for adults and not me. If that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
How do you feel about where Margaret ends up with the religion?
I think she's still going to figuring it out. I don't think it's very much a source of tension until she's a little bit older.
She doesn't come to like a great conclusion. I mean, her big epiphany is there is no God. I don't believe in God.
Well, also,
I don't want to talk about it and I don't want to think about it.
She got her period. Thanks.
Right.
Oh, it came. Right. You did deliver.
Right.
And so maybe it just continues like that, like a journal entry.
Yeah.
Hey, God, here's what's going on. I'd appreciate it if you, in time, it will come. Just like her mom says, you're going to get your period when you are ready for it. And maybe you come to the conclusion of God will deliver when you are ready for it.
Yeah, it's interesting because she goes through this, year of testing and questioning and looking and researching and experimenting. And her conclusion is religion makes people fight, actually. And,
right.
My mom got kicked out of the house because of it. And then we had this big blow up at my house and all. And so that's my conclusion. My conclusion isn't I'm Jewish or Christian. My conclusion is religion makes people fight. And then, despite that experience, when she gets her period at the end, which I got to say, that's when I cried. I was crying like through that whole scene. The fear of it, the relief of it, the exuberance in it, just all of it. I was like, oh my God, this is too much.
Yeah.
This is like all way too much. And then, it returns to a simple like, oh, thank you. Which again, as an adult, I'm like, how nice it must be to be grateful. Okay. Nancy L. Graham. She is such a stinker.
Yep.
And then I think she has like maybe one of the best scenes in the movie.
Yeah.
When they're at the steakhouse and then she gets her period.
Yeah.
And the wide range of emotions of fear, and then realizing like, oh, I lied, and now she's gonna know, and wonderfully performed, I thought.
So good. So good. Because I cover so many teen dramas, this whole time, I'm like, oh, Nancy's going to get worse. Oh, something's going to happen with Nancy's mom and Barbara. Like, it's going to get worse. Like, we're going to see like even a darker side. We don't.
Yeah.
And that's what I also really appreciated, because it didn't feel like we were pumping up the drama for, again, I don't know the book, right? Because I never read the book. So for someone who's first time coming into this story, this is why it also felt very relatable and real, because the Nancys were just like the Nancys in my, my personal Nancys were just like this little Nancy.
When I finished my first viewing of this, I thought to myself, oh, well, that's kind of a movie where nothing happens. But then again, like I said to you at the beginning, and yet everything, if you are in this position, try to explain to a 12-year-old girl that all of these major, moving to a new town, and my grandmother moving away, and finding out that my mom has pain, horrific pain that was no fault of her own, and like all of the like, and then you add in boys and Norman Fisher and like try to talk to someone of that age and tell them that, oh, this is nothing. What you're experiencing, there's really not much to this story,
Right.
So I appreciated, like you said, that with Nancy, it's not like, oh, this is built, oh, there's going to be an explosion, or there's going to be something really messed up is going to happen. It's just like, no, it's just the passage of a year in someone's life.
Yeah.
But man, she's such a stinker.
Oh my gosh.
When she's like, I'm a AA 18 or
32 AA. 32 AA. Yeah. And then
like,
also,
you know what, kid? Sit down. All right, calm down.
Gosh. Also, her practicing, you have to be good when you take as a boy, you have to practice. Also, like, this is the secret club. I will make the rules. Oh my gosh.
Let's check everyone's bras. Please.
Oh my God.
I wanted to kick that kid in the pants.
Oh, the Nancys.
Yeah. But then, like I said, with her scene, I mean, how wonderfully acted Elle Graham performs that scene on the toilet. Being on the toilet, that's an incredibly vulnerable, embarrassing place. And just the range of emotions and realizations that she's going through. And, I've spoken with several women in my life, and oftentimes when it's like, oh, the story of when I got my period was right at this important event, or the day I got to summer camp, or at my mom's funeral, or, something like, it's always like, holy moly, you're not just necessarily like skipping along one day, but sometimes it's tied to. And so the whole idea of like going to the city and seeing the Rockettes and going to this fancy dinner, and you bring your friend along, and now you're at this like high point, and now you're faced with, the reality of the human body. It's great. I think it might be, I don't know if it's my favorite scene or not.
It's really good. It's really good.
And then the same thing, like we mentioned with Laura, when you realize like, oh, these are kids. Like,
they're kids.
I've wanted to flick all these kids on the nose and be like, stop it. But then just like the movie gives you just enough line and then pulls the rug out from under you to be like, these are children, and they do not possess the tools to, behave like mature kids. And except for Philip Leroy. I hate that kid still.
Yeah, I mean, again, like he serves his purpose of being the turd.
Okay, the parents, Rachel McAdams, as we've already mentioned, as Barbara. I could relate to this as a parent, where it's like, hey, you want to do all these things? I'm like, oh, not really. And then like cutting out the stars, and it's like, why am I cutting out stars? What is this? What are we doing? Why are we doing this? And then in the end, it's like, for nothing.
Fire hazard. Who knew?
The moment with Barbara that I appreciated the most is when she sees the bird.
Yes.
I thought of you.
Yes. Oh, I related to this so much.
Walk us through this scene for you.
Yeah. So Barbara, she's fixing up things in the living room. I think was she unpack, you're cutting the stars or something. She's distracted.
Yeah.
And we know she's an artist, and she used to teach art, and since moving and had to give that up. And so she sees a bird outside of her window, and she's like struck with inspiration, and it like comes to her. And so she rushes to get canvas and paint and a paintbrush, and she is staring. She's like, I can't believe the bird is still here. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's striking. I can finally make art again. I can create. And then the doorbell rings and the bird flies away. And there it goes. But I think that's the moment that stuck with her, because later on we see that she's teaching art again. So, man, I felt that too. Of just like when inspiration hits and you just have to make it like, oh, I have to get it out of me. And then you're interrupted and you're like, oh, I just want to create.
It's hard to express having a good life and sleepwalking through it.
Yeah.
And then the thing comes along that wakes you up. And then the pain of that thing being taken away or not being able to live in that moment or that time. And how that scene is written, where she doesn't take a photograph of it. She tries to paint it, which requires more time. And it would have been a moment that was preserved. And how the things that we work on preserve the feeling that inspired us to work on that thing. And when it's taken away from you, how hard it is to be like, back to my happy life.
And I thought a lot about that, because last night I was so angry. I was so mad. And I just painted. I just had to cut out paper and paint. And so I did. And I made a little collage. And it reminded me of when I was younger, my teenage angst, if you will. Just I took it out in my bedroom. I had trees and quotes and birds and flowers, and that is how I expressed everything I was feeling. And really, that room was just like a whole it was an accumulation of all of the feelings at the time. And I remembered that last night when I was just like, I need to just express myself through this creative. I need to get this out, and I need to just to create for myself and not for anything or a purpose, or just to get it out.
Yeah, it's very painful.
Yeah.
And very well done. It's just a moment in a movie that's not even about her.
Right.
You know?
But it's really good.
It's great. So I think the lesson for us as older people is when you do have those moments, to respond to them as best as you are able to.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, Herb, Benny Safdie, her dad. How'd you feel about Herb?
This is the one I've been struggling with this because I don't even know how to critique. I've never seen Benny in anything else.
Yeah.
He just looks so young to me. Obviously, you have kids. You're young. You and Jean are young. He looked like he could have been Margaret's brother. And I felt like I didn't see enough chemistry between him and Barbara. But besides that, I did like him. He was probably my least favorite performance.
My one note on him is that no one will be more mad at your parents than your spouse on your behalf.
Yeah.
And I got great parents. They're very respectful, and my wife gets along with them great. So I'm not necessarily speaking from, experience, but from what I have seen from people in my life, it's like, your spouse will get very angry for you.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I kind of feel like it's fine. There's nothing. I didn't feel a lot with him beyond that. You know, how he helps Barbara work through and relate. You know, but also he kind of just tries to shut the whole thing down. And Barbara has another great moment when they're at the airport, and Margaret's like, "Why are we doing this?" And she doesn't fully come out and say, "Because I want my parents who abandoned me to see how good my life is." You know, she's put off buying the furniture, and then her parents come to town. She has furniture. All the little things that she was okay with not squaring away, they're all squared away. And my favorite shot of the movie is after the big explosion and argument, and then she takes the leaves out of the table and makes a smaller table. Okay, Sylvia, Kathy Bates, how'd you feel about her?
I love her. She's so wonderful. She's like a warm hug. I love how much she loves Margaret. I love her bond. I also love that we're showing this woman who is upset that her life is changing. Her son is moving, her granddaughter's moving away, but then decides that I still have life in me and makes a change. And I think that's really important to see. And I think that's like we're seeing all these women, 3 different generations, who are going through changes and accepting them and evolving with them. And I loved Sylvia so much.
Yeah, it's a nice extension of the idea of like 3 generations of women all going through transition and how they decide they are going to be. Margaret at the end decides, you know what? I am going to be nice to Laura.
Yeah.
And I don't really care that much about Nancy because she is actually kind of mean. And then the mom deciding, I don't really care about Nancy's mom, actually. And I'm going to do what I want to do. And then Sylvia being like, you know what? I'm not dead. And having nothing to do will kill me. And so I'm leaving. And the pain of leaving people behind, but also the joy. Look, folks, if you never quit a job before, it's an incredible feeling. Part of the way through my second watch, I was like, this is really a story of kind of how women relate to each other. You know, Nancy's mom to Nancy, Nancy to Margaret, Margaret's mom to her grandmother, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, it's pretty great. Wanted to quickly mention the soundtrack.
Fantastic.
Great soundtrack.
Really good.
Jump in the line, Harry Belafonte. When she stuffs her bra. And is typing on the typewriter.
What would it feel like?
I was like, it's like, that's the funniest thing that I've ever seen. One of my favorite songs, Son of a Preacher Man, Dusty Springfield. Oh my goodness. Song's incredible. And then we end with The Wind by Yusuf / Cat Stevens, as he's mostly referred to now. And that also made me tear up listening to that song. I was like, oh, this is so good. Okay, final note before we move on. Were you shocked when this movie opened with Gracie Films, which ends like every episode of The Simpsons?
Yes, I was. I have that as a note. Thank you for bringing that up.
I saw Gracie Films. I was like, The Simpsons? The Simpsons made this? I love that.
Yeah, it's good.
All right, let's get into our happies and crappies.
It's time for happies and crappies. Happies and crappies. It's time for happies and crappies. Happies and crappies. It's time for happies and crappies.
All right, my happy is being able to revisit the emotions of insecurity in a safe space because it's not real, and connecting with what it's like to be a kid. And my crappy, I want to say that the ending with Moose, because it's very much like, she'll find love and everything will work out. But for her, that would be like the coolest, greatest thing ever. So I have to say it's like a half crappy. Because my old cynical self wants to be like, Margaret, you don't need a boy to be happy, while also being like, that would have made her really happy. And you know what, Margaret, I'm happy for you. You like that
plus you're just
curly-headed moose.
exploring. Right? You have a crush. Like when you get home from summer camp, you see if you guys hang out and have fun. It's so innocent. It's so innocent. It's not the end all be all. They're not getting married.
Right. What about
you? My happy is Margaret and Sylvia sitting in the bed talking about hand cream. I love this so much. I love Kathy Bates. I think this is an amazing performance, particularly in this scene. My crappy, I don't really have one. I guess my one note is that Benny as Herb just didn't land for me. He was fine.
Yeah.
He was fine. It's not even that of a crappy.
We're on a good crappy run, I gotta say.
We don't have many crappies.
3 weeks in a row where we're kind of scrounging for crappy.
We're looking for crap. We can't find it.
All right, well, we've talked about how we feel about the movie. So now let's hear from some strangers on the internet in a segment we call Half Star, 3 Star, 5 Star. Half Star, 3 Star, 5 Star. These are reviews from letterboxd.com, which is a website and an app where you can log, rate, and review movies. We start with a half-star review, which is the lowest rating that you can give a film. And we go all the way up to a 5-star review, which is the highest rating that you can give a film. I read the half-star review in an accent or an impersonation. Michelle, do you have any requests?
I don't.
What does that mean?
Let's go to our Wheel of Voices.
Wheel of Voices!
Hey, Vito Corleone.
Hello, Michelle.
How are you, Vito? Can you please read our half-star review?
I'm wonderful. I love the story of the young women.
So beautiful, right?
It makes me feel like when I was just a boy in, I can't remember if it was Italy or Sicily, but I was there.
Yes.
Okay, this is a half-star review for Are You There, God? It's me, Margaret. Read by Vito Corleone. Folks, you can only get this kind of stuff here at Movie Friends Podcast, okay? Because no one else would do something this stupid. I always got to get in that position for him.
No, next, Seth, right?
Yeah.
I'm glad to see girlhood is alive and well. Yet this was way more centered around religion than I thought it would be. WTF.
Yeah, this person thought that a movie with prayer in the title wouldn't be so centered on religion.
Wow. Feel bad for that person. Not really.
Yeah. I mean, listen, folks, despite how you feel about the idea of God and religion, you do realize people struggle with these thoughts, right?
You would think. My goodness.
Okay, 3-star review says, very endearing. I enjoyed watching it, despite feeling the latter half rushed, to a point where every complicated problem got solved too quickly. Anyway, this isn't the type of movie that most resonates with me at the moment. Maybe I would have liked more if it was about Rachel McAdams' character, who absolutely nailed it. You know, I can't, that's their, but it's like, I felt it was quite balanced, though.
So did I. What so complicated got wrapped up? Because her period came? Because she's 12? Like, that. Yeah, that makes sense. Like, it came.
I mean, a lot of things do, like she dances with Laura, she gets her period, she goes to camp.
It's the end of school year. We see her through a whole year.
Yeah, I don't think it's too rushed.
I don't either.
5-star review says, does an excellent job capturing how the awkward moments can feel funny, exhilarating, sad, profound, just how big all the emotions are experienced at such an age, and does it all so heartfelt. The performances from everyone are brilliant, honestly, and bring us closer to the characters.
Well said.
You know, we've covered a lot of coming of age movies on the show. And you mentioned earlier, over on our Patreon, we did an episode by episode recap of Freaks and Geeks, which, yes, we talk about each episode, of course, and the characters and the arcs, but we also talk a lot about ourselves. And I feel like this movie is the closest to that experience that we've had.
Yeah.
And just the earnestness and reveling in the awkwardness, not necessarily the drama of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So normally we go to what Roger Ebert said, but he passed away before this film was made. And so instead, I found a tweet from Judy Blume about the passing of Roger Ebert. She said, "Very sad over the news of Roger Ebert's death. We'll miss his tweets and reviews and his love of movies."
Oh.
Is that nice?
Mm-hmm.
All right. We rate things as a movie, schmovie, or a film. We rate it 1 through 5 stars, give our thoughts on the runtime, if we recommend it or not, and we give a shout out to whatever part of the film's practical filmmaking stood out to us. Now, before we record each episode, we write down a guess of what the other hosts will rate the film. And every time we guess correctly, we get to add a point to our tattoo tally. And whoever has the most points at the end of 2026 gets to pick a tattoo for the other host that they will then get tattooed on them without knowing what it is first. Currently, Michelle has 0 points and I have 5.
Not feeling confident.
Oh no.
I'm 12 years old all over again.
No!
For you, I wrote down 4-star movie.
Yes!
Yay!
Yes! Yes, I'm so excited for you.
Oh my god, I must increase my score!
Oh, after 12 weeks. I was like, please.
Moly.
I was like, please, Michelle, please don't go too low. Don't go too high. Please. Yes, correct. This is a 4-star movie. After my first watch, I was like, I could kind of go like 3 stars on this. Not for any real reason, you know? And then after watching it again, I was like, you know what? No, there's actually so much like wonderful subtlety. I mean, just, you know, I used to love the monkey bars. These lines that have a lot behind them, but you never feel weight. I feel like the actors are like dancing through this film in their performances. I don't feel like there's ever a moment where it's like, okay, now this is the serious moment. Everybody pay attention. This is it. You know, even when she just screams and she's like, I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. And like runs off. Even that doesn't feel like, you know, another director would really play that up. Kelly Fremon Craig, I listened to a couple interviews with her. She seems like the most normal person I've ever, like, as she was talking, I was like, you're so normal. You sound so normal and grounded. Wow. Definitely at least 4-star movie. I might feel different about it later, but I think that the runtime is good. It's good. I didn't think it needed to be shorter. I'm glad it didn't go on longer, I guess I'll say. As far as practical filmmaking, again, big shout out to Ann Roth on the costuming. I thought that was all great. And I do recommend this. I recommend this to everyone, especially if you're like, hey, I'm an adult. Watch this movie and remember what it's like to be a kid. Okay, for you, I wrote down the same thing, 4-star movie.
You are correct.
Okay.
This is a beautiful coming of age story. You can't help but watch this and relate to it to your own life, no matter what age you are. I think there's something in this for everyone. I really, really, really enjoyed it. Also, we didn't touch upon Gretchen or Janie, but I thought they were both fantastic. Mm-hmm. Gretchen, when they're talking about their boobs. She goes, mine just look like little wizard hats. And man,
Oh.
do I know exactly what she's saying. Because
That
when
was
they're
very
first
funny.
popping out, yes. And Janie was so sweet. And I just related to all of these girls, like I said. And I think anybody who watches just will find something in it for them. The runtime was perfect for me. The soundtrack was great. And as far as the practical filmmaking, I loved all the set decor and the life layers added to the homes.
Hey, if you like the layers that we add to our podcast home, we'd love it if you give us a rating and
They're
a
not
review.
all winners. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's. I wonder sometimes if people who listen think that like these are all just coming straight off the head. All right, whatever.
Well, they
whatever
sound
Michelle,
like it, so I'm sure.
Yeah, whatever Michelle says last is basically what I have to work with.
Right.
But you know what? There are layers to our podcast home. You know what I mean? Hey, look, go back. Okay, Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior. Hello.
Hello,
Nightmare Before
Peaches.
Christmas. You ever hear of it? House 1977. Hello. We're not a one-trick pony here, okay? But we would like if you would pony up and do one trick for us. See, I still got it. Anyway.
Yeah, that was good.
Wherever you're listening, give us a rating and a review. We should do a supercut of all of my transitions.
We should.
Into the commercials to show how bad they are. Anyway. Mm-hmm. You can also send us an email, moviefriendspodcast@gmail.com. We would love to hear what you thought about Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Did you read the book? Did you read a book about being a peeping Tom when you were a kid and think that your mom was trying to...
Are you a Blume Boy?
You're a Blume Boy? That's like something from Arrested Development. He's a Blume Boy. Anyway, hey, send us an email. You can also support the show, patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Look, folks, $5 a month, you get access to all of our additional episodes, our patron-only Discord. You get to vote on upcoming episodes and monthly themes. You get ad-free episodes, and you get to support our show, which sadly is going to be ending if we don't get a couple more people to sign up. That's right. You could save Movie Friends.
It's true. I'm out. I'm leaving this ship.
If we don't have 10 people sign up between now and next week, okay? We're pulling the plug. And we're deleting all the episodes. It's not even like you can catch up.
You know what? Movie Friends never existed.
Right. It will be like we never
a fever dream.
I remember something about Vito Corleone. Reading a review for Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. Okay, anyway, but seriously, sign up and hey, join what we're doing. Speaking of what we're doing, next month is a patron voted theme. I don't know what it is yet, but I've seen some of the submissions and it's great.
It's all over the place.
Okay, but Michelle, next week, this is the 5th Monday in the month, and so whenever a 5th Monday comes around, we play it pretty fast and loose with that 5th week, you know? And this one feels pretty fast and pretty loose. What are we doing and why are we doing it?
We're going to be talking about Here Comes Peter Cottontail from 1971.
Uh-huh.
Directed by Jules Bass and Arthur Rankin Jr. Currently streaming on Tubi. This is a movie that was one of my favorites from when I was a kid. I love this movie so much. And then Seth surprised me with the VHS of it, which I have it displayed. I look at it every day. Very special gift. One of my favorite things you ever gave me. Well, I guess one of the favorite gifts I've ever received, I should say. But anyway, you have not seen this, right?
Yeah,
Maybe it was a TV special. This is a TV
If I have
movie.
seen it, I have no memory of it, I guess I'll say.
It's the same folks who made Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. So stop motion animation.
Rankin and Bass. The
Rankin
team
and
that
Bass.
did it all.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, look, I'm always down for stop motion animation, and this has been a movie that you've talked about doing for a really, really long time. So it's always fun to check off one of those years-long anticipated films.
Mm-hmm.
Well, hey, thanks, Michelle.
Thank you, Seth. Thank you, patrons.
Yes. Special shout out to our patron, Josie, who nominated this film. And by the time this episode has come out, she has premiered the film that she made called Somnia at her local home theater. They're doing a couple of showings of it.
Amazing.
So Josie, if you're listening and you made it this far, we're proud of you.
We're proud of you, Josie.
Well, hey, thank you very much for listening. And remember, folks, we must increase our bust. Till next week when we're talking about Here Comes Peter Cottontail. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.
Movie Friends is produced by Seth Vargas and Michelle Rubenstein. Theme music by Jean-Marie Vargas. Visit us at our website, moviefriendspodcast.com, and please subscribe and rate our show wherever you are listening. You can support Movie Friends at patreon.com/moviefriendspodcast. Thanks for listening.